Don't miss The Marvels in theaters on November 10th and see where the Marvel stories all began when you watch Captain Marvel, WandaVision, and Miss Marvel, only on Disney+. Plans starting at $7.99.
This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for November 8th, 2023. Your daily entertainment headlines, industry info, and everything rock. Tickets are on sale now to see Creed's Summer of '99 tour with Three Doors Down and Finger 11 at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, Massachusetts on August 21st, 2024. Tickets are also on sale to see Iron Maiden at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts on November 6, 2024. Iggy Pop, Shirley Manson, and Cat Power are a few of the artists who have contributed to a new compilation tribute album called The Faithful, a tribute to Marianne Faithful, an upcoming covers compilation honoring the legendary English singer. The album set for release on December 8th, with all of the profits going directly to assist Marianne Faithful as she recovers from long COVID. Guitarist Richie Sambora says, quote, "It's time for a reunion with his former Bon Jovi bandmates as the group approaches their 40th anniversary." In a new interview with People, Sambora says it's a matter of time before it happens, saying there's a documentary that's being done about the band and stuff that I've participated in, and people want to come and see us play, and it's going to make everybody happy. He continued, "I think we wrote a lot of songs that changed a lot of people's lives just by letting them have a good time." He continued to comment on the reunion, saying, "So yeah, it definitely could happen. It's just a question of when everybody's ready to go and do it." The Killers have announced their best of compilation album, Rebel Diamonds. The forthcoming album will take from their 20-year career, including classics like Mr. Brightside, When You Were Young, and Human. Rebel Diamonds is set to be released on December 8th. After postponing their reunion tour so they could finish new music, Porno for Pyros has set November 16th as the release date for their new song, Agua, the first new song from Porno for Pyros in 26 years. The track features the band's original lineup, including Perry Farrell and drummer Stephen Perkins. Agua is also set to appear on the band's new EP, arriving in February. Lamb of God have released a recap video of their first Headbangers Boat charter cruise, which made its way back to Miami, Florida on Saturday, one day after a man on the ship went overboard. A search for the missing 41-year-old was quickly initiated. The captain of the Norwegian Pearl was forced to cancel the search and rescue mission, and the vessel resumed her course to Miami. The U.S. Coast Guard conducted a search for the man who was last seen 20 miles east of Cay, Bahamas around 4 a.m. In a message accompanying the recap video, Lamb of God said thank you to everyone who joined us on the inaugural Headbangers Boat. They continued, "It was shocking that such a joyous occasion could so quickly turn tragic. While we don't know all of the specifics, we know every single person on that boat is part of our family, and we witnessed everyone on board experience grief at the loss of one of our own." Metallica have made history in St. Louis. Last weekend's No Repeat weekend on the group's 2-year-long M72 World Tour saw more than 100,000 tickets being sold for the band's 2 gigs on November 3rd and 5th at the Dome at America's Center, setting the record for the most tickets sold for any event since the venue opened in 1995. Metallica's St. Louis takeover was capped with $100,000 in grants to 3 organizations doing vital work in the Gateway City and beyond. The organizations, St. Louis Area Food Bank, the Women's Safe House, and the Farmling Project. A portion of the proceeds from every ticket sold on the tour benefits the band's All Within My Hands Foundation, whose efforts include assisting and enriching the lives of members of the communities who have supported the band, and they've raised nearly $13 million. Rush singer and bassist Geddy Lee has been an avid collector of baseball memorabilia for decades, and now he is auctioning off 100 of the items from his collection. The auction being held December 6th, hosted by Christie's and Hunt Auctions. Highlights include a baseball signed by the Beatles during their Shea Stadium appearance in '65, balls signed by U.S. presidents John F. Kennedy, Harry Truman, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Lyndon B. Johnson, and a bat used by Mickey Mantle in the 1960 World Series. Overall, Geddy's collection includes hundreds of autographed and historic milestone baseballs spanning over 3 centuries of Major League Baseball and American history. The Grateful Dead have tied the record for the most Billboard Top 40 albums by any act in history. The band has just earned their 58th album in the top 40, with the debut of Dave's Picks Volume 48 at number 43 on this week's Billboard 200 chart. The Grateful Dead are now tied with both Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley and are just one release away from breaking the all-time record. Queensryche have announced a spring 2024 North American tour with support from Armored Saint. Dubbed the Origins Tour, the track will see Queensryche revisit their early years, performing their 1983 self-titled EP and their 1984 debut full-length album, The Warning, in their entirety. Tickets go on sale this Friday, November 10th at 10 a.m. That includes a stop at the Palladium in Worcester, Massachusetts on Saturday, April 27th. Bruce Springsteen made a surprise appearance on Monday night at Stand Up for Heroes, a charity event in New York City honoring veterans and their families. It was a rare live appearance for Bruce Springsteen, who had to postpone a number of tour dates as he undergoes treatment for peptic ulcer disease. Springsteen performed solo at the event, as well as with John Mellencamp. The pair performed their 2022 collaboration, Wasted Days. An original photograph of the mysterious figure on the cover of Led Zeppelin 4 has been discovered in an old photo album, and he's been identified. The painted figure on the front cover of Led Zeppelin 4, the stooped man with a burden of sticks on his back, is currently referred to as the Hermit. The original story says Robert Plant found the painting in a secondhand store in Reading, Berkshire, while on his way to recording sessions at Headley Grange in Hampshire. Some have claimed that the old man is Henry Brusher Mills, a well-known Victoria-era snake catcher who lived in Hampshire's New Forest. Jimmy Page reportedly noted the figure's resemblance to old George Pickingill, who first instructed Aleister Crowley in the occult. Now, the original photograph from which the painting was based was found during research for an upcoming exhibition at the Wiltshire Museum. The picture was discovered in an old album by Brian Edwards, a visiting research fellow at the Regional History Center at the University of the West of England, who, being a Led Zeppelin fan, recognized the image immediately. He said, Led Zeppelin created the soundtrack that has accompanied me since my teenage years, so I really hope the discovery of this Victorian photograph pleases and entertains Robert, Jimmy, and John Paul. The photographer was photography teacher Ernest Howard Farmer, and the stooped figure is likely to be Lot Long, also known as Lot Longyear, a thatcher from the small town of Mere in southwest Wiltshire. Lot was born in 1823 and died in 1893. The photograph will be included in an exhibition, Wiltshire Thatcher, A Photographic Journey Through Victorian Wessex, which is set to run at the Wiltshire Museum in the spring of 2024. That's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 179, featuring Justin Chancellor from Tool, is available now.
Celebrate Veterans Day by getting inspired at the National Army Museum in Alexandria, Virginia. Complete the museum-wide scavenger hunt. Hear incredible stories of service from the museum's veteran volunteers, and write a message of thanks to those who served. The weekend is packed with free events, all in tribute to Army veterans. Plan your visit November 10th through the 12th. Free admission and parking. Do something meaningful this Veterans Day. Get inspired at the National Army Museum. Plan your visit at usarmymuseum.org. That's usarmymuseum.org.
What does the word mixtape mean to you?
It was an art form, trying to woo them with my fantastic and eclectic taste in music.
If somebody gave you a mixtape, you felt like you really meant something to that person.
Mixtape to me is love.
My Weekly Mixtape is a podcast that takes the classic mixtape approach to building a modern playlist. I'm your host, Brian Colburn. Tune in to hear themed playlist curations.
No one in the history of anyone should ever put Pantera after Derek and the Dominoes, but here we are.
It is going to be the weirdest playlist ever created, and I love it.
one-on-one sit-downs with the artists that made our mixtape special in the first place.
It's Bill Gibson with Huey Lewis in the News.
I'm Art from the band Everclear.
This is Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
This is Frank Turner, and good Lord, you've made the right choice today.
And so much more. My Weekly Mixtape is a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Listen now at myweeklymixtape.com or by searching My Weekly Mixtape wherever you listen to podcasts.